Hello and welcome to Eat Your Backyard, my YouTube channel, where I try to introduce you to new types of plants, edible plants, beautiful plants, tropical plants. If that kind of thing interests you, please subscribe to the channel. Also turn on all notifications. That way you will be notified as I live stream from locations throughout Florida. Today, I'm going to look at a gift that was given to me by my friend Ben. And it is a crop of Jamaican sorrel. And this is November in Central Florida. And this is when Jamaican sorrel comes in. I recently discovered this plant and I am crazy about it, meaning I think it is incredible. You know, it's what's coming in now, as Ben would tell you. It's what's plentiful. Therefore, incredibly interesting. Look at the redness of these stems. I almost want to take it out into a more bright place, like this chair here. You can see the stems, and the redness of the fruit is just next level. Now, all that Ben did was just cut them roughly a foot or two above the ground, the level of the ground, and harvested these. And what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to put all of these. I'm going to see how many I've got here. He was just like, "Yeah, take them." Now, look at that. That's what happens when you leave. You see the perfect outline of that saw? When you leave your saw on the table and let it sit there for a day or two, the rust stain remains. Okay, so let's pick these. So the sorrel, relative of the, there we go. Relative of the hibiscus, not relative, it is a hibiscus. It's an incredibly interesting looking flower. And the video I'll be releasing either later today or tomorrow morning will be a detailed walkthrough of how to grow it, looking at them alive, flying over them with drones, and much, much more. But I am just simply blown away by the coolness of this new novel fruit, which, come to find out, is like a mega crop, a significant crop across the earth. It's grown for lots of different reasons. I mean, this is like a dream plant for me because it's got so many areas of curiosity that I can dive into. So, I did a little looking up online, and in the, excuse me, in the, what to do with Jamaican sorrel category, I would say probably top on that list. Top on the list is making the sorrel drink, which is really, I think, the word sorrel refers to the drink made with the Jamaican sorrel, or made with, there's a lot of other names for this thing. They call it also the Florida cranberry, which I allude to in the title of this video, because it tastes like cranberry. And the part that you eat is actually these little flap things. They're crunchy and delicious. More crunchy the fresher they are. I can feel that they're already starting to get a little less firm. They were harvested last night, and I just am dealing with them this morning. They dry these. A lot of applications involve the dried flower being sold, right? And it's used in drinks. It's used for food coloring. It's used for all kinds of things. But it really has the flavor of a cranberry. It's amazing to me. I love cranberries, so I'm automatically hooked. Okay, and they say there's some health benefits, but they really can't prove it, is the bottom line. And that, I find that to be really, as we harvest these, I find that to be a rather common thing with claims for medicinal values of plants, is that, where's the research? And I don't mean from a skeptical sense. I mean that I think we should be really, really learning about the value of natural plants. Hey, Norma, can you propagate? Yes, you can. And my discussion with Ben will make exactly clear how to do that. I mean, you just plant it like any other plant, but what soil it grows in, the time of the year, everything. So he really gave a master class in sorrel growth, which he was taught by a mentor of his. So we're going to get in on the whole the whole process. Now, another interesting thing, which is why I don't want to go back over too much of it here, because you'll get a earful of it there. Another thing that they use the fruit for, yeah, of course, is the sorrel drink, but all kinds of sorrel drinks, is a rum drink. Like these come in around, you know, Christmas time, around this holiday season, and if they that's the recipe I found online. So I'm going to go try to see if I can. I don't know if I'll have the rum drink with it. Probably actually, but not because I'm anti-rum. I'm pro-rum, but I'm guessing that we'll probably have a bottle of wine tomorrow instead. All right, let's see. Aren't they incredible? Now you'll see in the video that yeah, it's so tangy. Probably makes a nice rum cake. I would agree with you. I think it could, like the culinary applications, if you have a, you know, a culinary gift or whatever you want to call it, you know how to do the magic, which is an incredibly good tasting food. You could take this tangy, crunchy element and incorporate it in so many ways. In my brief period of reading about it, I spent like maybe a half hour total reading about it. You know, I'd Wikipedia and some other places. You know, I was going with the scissors, but I think I'm way over. Way over. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, we'll show a point. Can you make jam with those? Norma, great question again. That is the perfect question, really. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. I'm going to answer that, but I want to show you this since it's just happened. You see how that peeled away? So this is super fibrous. Isn't that cool how it has the bright red kind of bark and the dark green, lime green on the inside? It's so cool. But it's very fibrous. So you see the fibers there. Sorry, I'm going to turn off my ringer. Streaming newbie. Yeah, well, they use these stems. That's where I peeled it off from. They use the stem as a fibrous material, as cordage. You know, the fiber is so strong. So that's another use of this. So you can use the stem for cordage fiber uses. You can use the flowers for all kinds of things. I think the area that they said it could potentially have medicinal values was high blood pressure. But I just don't know. Yeah, this is my first time ever harvesting it off the branch, so like how the right way to twist it, the right thing to do. Oh, the urinary tract too. Yeah, I would think, yeah, that's like a cranberry thing, right? It's like good for your urinary tract, good for a lot of functions of the body. It's got antioxidants. That's the other thing they touted big time in this, was that it's you know, high in antioxidants. And yeah, thank you. I was trying to go no scissor, keep it natural, but it really, the fibrous nature of it won. Now, according to the recipe, I need 2 cups. That's like something out of a Better Homes and Gardens shot. I bet you Better Homes and Gardens, people still read magazines, I bet you they have articles on Jamaican sorrel that are pretty cool. Okay, now, more fun facts. Oh, look at that. I think we're almost up to 2 cups, to be perfectly honest. Ah, and it's starting to stain the fingers, I see. Hence the dyeing, using it for dyes. So I have an interest in doing that as well. We actually have that oaky mallet that we made, and we rubbed some mulberries on it to try to see how the color would go and if it would end up staining the oak. So we're gonna have to go look back at that. But I think I'll try one of these on that oak, the shaft of that thing too. Picked even the small ones. I think you pick them all. Pick them all. Yeah, that's just shy of 2 cups, I'm going to say. That'll should be more than enough. I don't need a ton. Now, the other things that they said to add with this to make the drink was, whether you add rum to it or whatever is optional, but I think just the drink alone would be cool because it's so tart. They said add the sorrel, 3 sticks of cinnamon. That makes sense because it's almost like cranberry sauce, and 2 inches of ginger. And I didn't read like what do you do with each one of those? Do you grind them up or mash them up or what's the deal? But you then do a thing with that and then strain it out, and that's what you drink, and apparently it's incredibly good. Okay, so getting back to the question that Norma had about the jams, making jams with them, and then I have another point I'm going to make about the leaves. But the jams, the cool thing about these is that they have a large amount of pectin in them, enough that you don't need any. So you can make jam. I learned this last night, but much more details about it when you watch the video where I'm going to release it. It already has tons of pectin, and so you can make jam simply by having this, and you could add a little sugar. So, and I think you could probably add all kinds of things to make jam. Like I would imagine that the ginger and the cinnamon stick would probably be a good add even in jam. Now, okay, so now I'm thinking maybe I ought to try some jam. I did mulberry jam not too long ago, and it wouldn't be a bad idea to do some sorrel jam, because after all, but I have this quantity. I'm sure I could get more from Ben, but I have this quantity, and what am I going to do with it? Well, if you've any ideas, let me know. I could make the drink out of it. I could make some jam out of it very easily just by simply cooking it all up on the stove, really, the stuff you already have. So interesting. I could even throw in some mulberries, make it like a super jam, Jamaican jam. Yeah, thanks, Kip and Jake. Oh yeah. Oh, so you know about them? Yeah, I think I'm the last one to show up at the party for the sorrel. Like somehow this flew under my radar for years, and it's like discovering ice cream when you're 50. What? There's ice cream? Yeah, you're in for a treat. First ice cream. First sorrel. So the leaves, by the way, I ate a few of the leaves last night as we were walking around in the fruit jungle, and what the leaves typically are like either the 3. This is what I read. They're 3 or 5. 3 or 5. Yeah, I'm gonna put links in the description to some seeds too, by the way, that I found on Amazon. I'll just put my affiliate links there, so if you want to support the channel, you can just use them. Use the link. All right, here we go. So they have this 3 beautiful leaf, aren't they? And he said that actually it was indicative of a bit of a nutrient deficiency, the coloring here on it, but it wasn't a problem. They're kind of at end of life anyway. They grow them here as a annual. He grows them as an annual, although they're listed as annual/perennial. But they come with either 3 leaves or 5 leaves, so they're beautiful. But these leaves are used like salads, and I thought the leaves taste better than the fruit. Interesting in a different kind of weird way. Like really good. He did caution that eating too many of them, apparently there's an oxalate is in these or something, and it can, if you have too many, it's not a good idea, and that goes to the good old rule of too many of anything, too much of anything. But I'll tell you, the idea of walking through forests, and these things are popping. You'll see in that video. I'm so stoked on that video. It's fun, so fun to make. Interesting for me, learned so much. And I'm kind of upping my production value on these videos as well, just to let the community know I still gonna do all the things I was doing before, but I'm playing around with a little bit more of the cinematography. Anyhow, so the leaves are incredible too, and walking around that garden last night and seeing these just popping everywhere, hundreds of sorrel everywhere, and by the way, so many other things in bloom. So many. I gotta be careful I don't rub up against these things and get sorrel stained to the pants. I'm not gonna be easy to throw away any of this stuff yet. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at these, just studying them. Yeah, oxalate causing kidney stones. It does look like a bird paw. Yeah, I really don't know that much about oxalate, so yeah, but it does make you wonder what makes them taste so tangy. I mean, it's certainly a powerful flavor to it that is very cranberry-ish. What are the chemical cocktail in a plant that makes it taste like that? And you find out how things like oxalates. I don't know about the fruit. I haven't heard anything about the fruit like that. But if you have a sensitive, let's say kidneys or whatever, you got to be careful. There are a lot of what you eat already, not just because of Jamaican sorrel, but if you steam them, Kip and Jake says you can help with the oxalate. Oh, that's good to know. Throw out the water, yeah, boil out the. I bet you they would still taste strong, and they are such a strong flavored veggie, really, that I think they would still retain a lot of flavor in the boiling. But I wonder. I'm sure you could tell me what a miracle plant this is. Like, not to get too corny on you, whatever, but expanding the collection. New things. And I noticed that there were a lot of bugs on these. And I don't mean in a bad way, just bugs crawling around, like healthy bugs, wasps. I saw a butterfly flitter by, saw some bees. I did see a little bit of aphid action, but it didn't look like it was really taxing the plant too much. So it's kind of like, Ben's thing is, to get the natural kind of balance of organisms and nutrients and stuff going in the yard naturally without additives. And I have to be honest, it seemed like everything was working in symphony quite well. He's big on a number of things which I'm going to share with you on the channel that I think are pretty interesting. I'm going to do in my own yard, which I think will turbo it, like doing some simple things with composting worms and so on to get the nutrients level of your situation corrected, let's say, maybe from what it is. I wondered if I would maybe grow this from a cutting, but it wasn't advised. I was advised, don't waste your time, just plant the seeds. So that's what I'm going to do. Now what I do with these with these, I'm going to mess around with these for sure. These will not go into the yard waste bin. I guess I could harvest these leaves and like boil a bunch of them and try that too. I want to use as much of this as I can until I have my own in my yard. I'm noticing that my yard is just getting a little bit shady now. We're getting up around 9. I don't know what time it is exactly. Oops. You see here, that's a lot of shade. Now, it's great to have cherries and so on. Right now, let's see if I can find one. Yeah, there you go. Oh, there you go. See, there's a little. Great to have cherries, but I'm going to eat these. But you don't want to sacrifice all your other potential here, because I could see growing some sorrel maybe along this fence here, especially the way he had it along the perimeter of his garden. But I can't if I've shaded out. So I'm going to do some trimming back here, of course, like I need to, and that'll free up some sunlight. I'll do that after the colder temperatures happen. So I don't want that new growth to start. Oops. I don't want that new growth to start and then have it burned by the cold temperatures, because we do get cold days here. And I want to make sure that I give the trimmed plant every chance to come back. Check this out. I use this out here for doing the live stream sometimes from outside. Set up a whole like little zone. All right, so I thought you might enjoy seeing the Jamaican Sorrel. It's cool to get all the comments from the community on your experience with it. I may do another video with what I prepare with this. I think I'm going to go with the jam. Consider the drink, but I think the jam is the way to go. I'm going to have cranberry sauce, and then I'll have also sorrel jam tomorrow for the feast. Hey, thanks for watching Eat Your Backyard. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Turn on all notifications. You'll be notified as new streams come out. Also, lots of content coming. New series. Pick it, plan it, eat it. First one coming out today or early tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching. Eat Your Backyard.